Last night's so-called far-right riot was a hoax, and it fooled everybody. The police, the media, and the anti-fascist. It fooled them all. The authorities thought there was going to be mass riots in every city in the country, but it didn't turn out to be that way. They was completely fooled by it. And of course we had the left-wing media all prepared for it. The likes of Sky News, BBC News and the other left-wing newspapers. They was already on standby, sending their reporters to all different parts of the country, and it never materialised. What a joke. They was left with egg on their faces and humiliated and embarrassed. It never turned out, it was never going to happen. But that doesn't mean to say that we can let our guard down, because we still have to be prepared for anything. And of course we got the weekend coming up. That's going to be another worrying weekend, whether we're going to see riots again. But it was just an hoax, and they fell for it. Like the bunch of idiots they are, they fell for it. Hook, line and sinker. The joke's on you for falling for it. I mean, Sky News had reporters everywhere, every part of the country. They had them, from Birmingham to London to everywhere. Same with the BBC. They was prepared for it. They was hyping it up. Oh, there's going to be hundreds of far right thugs descending on our cities, ready to wreak havoc. But it never materialised, did it? They only embarrassed themselves. And, you know, they keep going on about far right. Well, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, you lefties. It doesn't exist. It's all in the minds. It's all in your minds, lefties. It doesn't exist. There is no far right. You're obsessed with it, especially Sky News. All their presenters, news presenters and reporters, they're all obsessed with it. Oh, the evil far right are going to take over the country. Well, it's not going to happen. They don't exist. What we have from the media is mass hysteria. In other words, they have been spreading misinformation. They always go on about it, the so-called trouble it's caused. It's the misinformation. They must bad. Sky News, BBC News, ITN, Channel 4, and the other media, the newspapers, the lefty newspapers. You're all as bad as one another for spreading misinformation. You complain about it when others do it, but you're doing it now. You're falling into the trap, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious to see you making fools of yourselves again, because the mainstream media, well, you can't trust them. They are a bunch of lefties, and you just can't trust them. All they do is spew out government propaganda. They all sing from the same hymn sheet. Everything the government tells them to do, they do it. They print any story in their papers. It's all it's all government propaganda. They never question the government news. They never questioned them. It was like lockdown. They never questioned why we had to have lockdowns for. They just went along with it. But that's the left for you. The left are idiots. They're a bunch of idiots. Them lunatics. Like I said, the media, the news channels must be embarrassed. The thought of the fact that this so-called far right, the riots, mass riots, was going to materialise. It never did. It was never going to happen. You were fooled. It doesn't take much to fool the media. The media are easily conned. Every time the government say something, they believe the government. They never question the government. But, it was hilarious to see the lefty media sending their reporters running around the country like headless chickens. I mean, they was everywhere last night. I mean, Starmer, two-tier Starmer, was interviewed today. And when the reporter asked him what he was going to do about stopping the migrants, he danced around the question. He wouldn't answer. We know what his answer's going to be. He's going to let more come into the country. He's going to let them... And I can tell you now, it's going to make people even more angry. It's going to make people even more angry about this. I think Starmer is on borrowed time. I don't know how he became Prime Minister, how people could have voted for him, voted him in. You couldn't run... I don't know about running a country. You couldn't trust Labour to run a bath. I mean, there are reports now that they are saying now they're already arguing amongst themselves. I don't know how much longer Starmer has got to be Prime Minister, but the way he's going, he's not going to be Prime Minister for very much longer. Sooner or later, the plotters are going to start, and they're going to try and, force him out. Well, that's the end of this video. Mr. Politics here signing off, and I'll see you all again in another one.